Welcome, guys, to Big Beard and FRIENDz, episode 98. Now, you know what? 98 episodes. 98 weeks. Y'all have put up with me. I know I've got like 2 people. I think there's one person that has viewed like every single week, 98 weeks. Which actually I think I've done it for like 102 trying to do this. But anyway. Guys, I hope everybody, first and foremost, is having a great Friday. I hope you've had a great week. I hope your year, everything you're doing is fantastic. A lot of people are going through some things right now that we don't realize. We all are going through things. You don't have to look far to see somebody going through, hard times or sorrows or trials and tribulations, and struggles and strifes. You don't have to look far. And I say those things because an old man told me that one day. He said, you don't have to look far to see somebody in worse shape than you. So we should all be, counting our blessings. Well, on today's episode, I actually want to touch on some things that I didn't think I would. I didn't never think that I would ever want to bring the perspective. Well, the 3 things I'm going to talk about, I think say a lot. I think they are things in this world that people don't talk about, or not talked about as much. And I think that's what I want to bring to the table. I want people to understand, when I talk about things like tonight, sobriety, the devil's persuasion, and maturing. Let's just go ahead and get right into this, shall we? When you talk about sobriety, it's the state of being sober, right? And you got to understand what sober means. It's the quality of being serious. Now, I tell a lot of people, one of my favorite things to say is, I just look like I eat small children, look at me. But I'm still up there as considered an adult. And I use that in air bunnies there because growing up, a lot of us don't want to do, but a lot of us do it because they get a life. They get a job. But I'm a firm believer that I'm not going to work so hard and work so much at my job that I forget to, good, I got a job, but also don't want to forget that I got a life. I don't want to be at the end and being like, well, he's worked his nuts off. That's all he's ever done. What's wrong with working, Blake? What's wrong with Blake? Nothing. But I think back of the things that I had. And that's one of the reasons here that, well, tonight you guys are watching this, but on the 2nd, which for me is tomorrow, is when I'm filming this, on the 1st, it'll be 30 days alcohol free. On New Year's, I was in a situation that I didn't like, and perhaps I'll share that in future episodes. But I was in a situation that I didn't like, put myself in it, and it involved me basically having words with my wife, and I didn't like it. And it was all because it was, alcohol was involved. Now, it probably affected me more than it might have or should have others, but it was the point that I reflected on the situation enough to make me go, I don't want to drink anymore. I said I was going to go a year. I've never done these kind of things. I've never set these kind of goals, but I quit smoking. So I'm like, I smoked for 16 years. That's like it's like half my age. Like I don't. At that time I quit, it was one of those, I've been smoking more than half the age I was. So I felt like there's nothing I can't do now. So already I know that if you quit, for instance, alcohol, for sobriety, if you will, it causes your stability and positive thinking to happen. You feel better, your brain, your body, you think clearer, your mentality. I know that much. You got more energy. You'll get up and, go to bed. Your sleep cycles will be fine. Your relationships and like life in general will just get better. And I know different people have different addictions and things. I didn't think that I had a problem with alcohol. I had before in my past, way in my past. But I just got to where I drank a lot, especially during the quarantine, what I called them the quarantine months. Like I drank and, I had to have access to beer. I just when my wife at one time got to where she was the only one working because she was essential, and it was all like, well, stop at the store if you can, get me beer. It was many, many reasons, stocking the beer. But all that stuff, I didn't realize that all those feelings that you have, like I said, with relationships and your life in general and your brain and your body and your health and all that, all those feelings is better than just being drunk. You dig? Just all the time. Or trying to be, I had 3 quickly. I was that guy. I'm going to open 2 and 3 and suck them down quick because here in a moment, 20 minutes, I'll be fine, But for me, it's a journey that I thought I would never understand. And it was more so for myself and the others around me. I tell of this small incident, but there's just many in general I've reflected, I look back on, and I'm like, wow. I was drinking then, or I remember being really buzzed there, or I remember that night barely, Did you drink last night? Oh, I don't remember. You have a good night? I think so. I don't remember. Everybody's different, but for me, that's why I say that. For me, it was something I wanted to look back on and think I overcame that. Those things make me happy. Which kind of takes me to my next topic, the devil's persuasion. Now, a lot of people already were thinking and have been thinking, and I had told this week, they're looking at me when I tell them the title, like, the devil's persuasion. Well, persuasion, let's look at that word for a moment. It's a trying to convince someone of something. You see what I'm saying? When an example of that is when someone lists like all the reasons that you should do something. You know what I'm saying? They're it's an act of influence, like influencers, social media. We're influencers. Other people are better at influencing than others and have bigger platforms and do what they must. And it's a full-time job to be the influencer. But you can persuade people to buy your stuff. Persuade, like a salesman can persuade your car salesman, children. You know what I'm saying? When they're looking at their parents and they have that little can I have this look, or that persuading of trying to get somebody. I guess you could say, synonyms would be beliefs, conviction, opinions, views. The devil is really good at this. He is really good at influencing us and throwing the temptation. It's the devil's persuasion. It's life. That's what I meant by that. That's what I mean when I think of convincing or persuading. I think it's the devil. So with me, with this story, it kind of ties into it back to the sobriety. I think it's very important. That's why, it's a reflection of what I'm going through, or what somebody's going through, or what we may go through. And I really think that if you use a persuasion for a good thing, perhaps it's all right. But they're all types of persuasions. They're there. And as I was saying, with me, it tied into sobriety because it was kind of like, I was persuaded to do this bad drinking, this situation, and I gave in. And the persuasion was right. The devil's persuasion got me this time. He persuaded me. The devil's persuasion is temptation. And I'm going to talk about that. Temptation is a big thing going on in my life and right now. So to be transparent on that, I don't want to be persuaded by the devil to go that way. So the devil's persuasion is not something that I want to be on the receiving end of, and all of us are, no matter how you refer to it or look at it as, we are persuaded all the time. But you got to know the difference when you grow up, and brings me on to my next topic, maturing. Maturing is simply, it's to become more developed, like mentally and emotionally, and to be responsible and listen. You know what I'm saying? In a way that will be beneficial for your future. And that's the thing that I'm learning. And I'm going, I think maturing, it's just me. I listen more. I don't shy away from responsibilities or something that I know that I need to do. I'm trying my best to mature, as in less arguments and more accommodating stuff. Like, that's a hard one for me. I don't know why I'm more comfortable talking than I am doing some, accommodating some. I know that one of the ways I feel like I'm maturing is and that you can mature, and these are one of the signs there, is you start to enjoy like everything, all the seasons in your life. And I don't even mean summer, spring, winter, fall. I don't mean things like that. I mean the seasons that life is giving us. You have a smile on your face more. You show your love for elders and children more. I mean, that's and I had looked some of this stuff up, and I thought it's true. I think it's true for some of it. I really do. You might read more or take care of yourself. If you seek signs of maturity, like you seek to do that, that's part of maturing, obviously. Just wanting to be at peace. Everything. One of the things that I just mentioned was, less arguments and more accommodating. I think it's important. I think it's overlooked. Now, I'm not telling you that this stuff is easy. I'm telling you what I've looked up, what I'm experiencing. That's what most of the show is. It's me giving pointers and life lessons that I had went through, and somehow tie it into the topics that I bring weekly. And that's what I think is important. So maturing, it's very, like I said, it's a mentally and It's a mental and emotional thing to be more developed. I don't know. That's a pretty simple thing. The ability to respond to your environment and people and situation correctly. You know what I'm saying? That ability to just know right from wrong and apply it, not being told. Girls mature before what guys do, before boys do, girls do before boys. This is a proven fact. They say that most men, start at like 25 trying to mature, but the average man, it's like at the age of 43. 43? Wow, I'm so thankful for my wife. My wife was a woman when I met her. That's 20 years. Well, we won't talk about that. But that's a long time ago. Like, wow. But some at 25? Really? I wasn't mature at 25, I'll tell you that. I don't know, everybody's different there. Mature. Let's see, sobriety, the devil's persuasion, and maturing. And I don't even have a clip this week. But I hope that you guys take something out of every episode and understand that I have done research. I can show progress of my work and proof of my work. And the things that I like to do is exactly what I'm doing right now. I'll tell you what. This is 98 episode. I'm going to go 99, and I'm trying to have a big, small surprise or something for the 100th. But there come a time where the show's got to end, and unfortunately, what are those 3 things that I say? I can't ever think of them when love, peace, chicken grease. Thanks for watching, guys. Later.
Presentations.